What's up, everybody? I'm your host, El Grande Gato. One quick question before we get started. Ready or not, here I come. We're gonna keep pounding and keep on pounding. One quick question before we get started. Do you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Carolina Panthers? Yes, no, maybe, sometimes. If you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Carolina Panthers, go ahead and give me that dab. Yes. Check this out, man. Today, we got a research show going on. There's two questions. Somebody asked me in my comment section on Instagram. It's El Grande Gato. Hey, do you think the Carolina Panthers will struggle on defense next year? And I did my research. I took my time. I took a whole day yesterday, did the research, looked at the numbers, and we're going to find out. You know, given the fact that we lost Peppers, we lost Davis, Mike Adams, Captain Mutterland, etc. The next thing we're going to talk about, do the New Orleans Saints run the Carolina Panthers? Interesting research I did that probably is going to shock you all. But before we get started, let me cut this off. Today is a phone call show. Feel free to call in if you want to. The number's down there. Sorry about that, y'all. Numbers at the bottom of the screen. And I wanted to get started. I want to talk to you about two things that happened in the media yesterday. One thing was Cam Newton put his new vlog out. If you have not seen Cam Newton's vlog on his rehab on his shoulder, my goodness, man, like, you can't help, even if you don't like the man's clothes, if you don't like his swag, his bravado, you can't help but to respect the way he attacks his rehabilitation on his shoulder. My man is going 1,000%, and any man that's doing anything to make their life better, I gotta give him the salute. So whether you like him not on or off the field, check that out. My man Cam Newton vlog. It'll give you an inside behind the scenes look at the rehabilitation of his shoulder. Next thing, I woke up this morning, a bunch of people are tagging me in this. I know you probably know by now, but this guy, Hearns, the offensive guard for the Carolina Panthers, they showed him, TMZ showed him getting knocked out in a bar in Augusta, Georgia. Man, not a good look. When I say you put alcohol together, alcohol, testosterone, and, it just doesn't mix, okay? But from the video, it looks like he was messing around, I guess, trying to run up on two or three guys, or two or three guys trying to run up on him. My man got in a position where he's like, I'm 6'4", 330. I'm going to go ahead and duke it out with him, but it didn't turn out in his favor. Like he got stole one. He got back up, tried to salvage the W, but he couldn't. I honestly don't know the guy. I can't say I honestly know the guy on the team. I think he's a backup. But yeah, man, that was kind of sad to see. It seems like he's all right. From the last report, says no police were called. Nobody went to the hospital, so it looks like he's all right. All right. So let's go ahead and address this first question. I gotta if you want to hit me up, make sure you hit me up on Instagram, YouTube, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up in Twitter. Okay. If you got any comments, any topics you want me to do, just hit me up in the comment section, DM, whatever. I'll answer. So somebody hit me up on my Instagram. They said, Myron, one quick question I want to ask you is, will we struggle on defense, given the fact Julius Pepper retired, Thomas Davis left, Adams and Captain Mutterland are gone? So I did my research. We're going to take our time today. Like I said, feel free to call in if you got any, if you want to talk about this topic. So last year was the third time, and this is going to really blow you guys' mind. This is the third time ever that Ron Rivera, since coaching the Carolina Panthers, did not have a top 10 defense. Did you know that? They didn't have a top 10 defense for the third time under him. So I kind of break it down. In order for us to go forward to find out what we're going to do next year, I got to go backward and look at the stats. So according to ProFootballFocus.com, our front four offensive linemen, our starting front four, Julius Peppers, he graded out with a 75.9, which is above average. He had 22 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Not bad for 39-year-old, huh? Mario Addison, he came in as an above average player as well. 69.9, that's what he graded out at. 35 tackles, 9 sacks, 2 forced fumble. And the person who graded out the second highest on defense, other than Luke Kuechly, of course, KK Short, which was a little bit surprising, you know what I mean? But I'll explain that in a minute. KK graded out at the 83.7. They consider him a good defensive tackle. And the grading scale is elite, high, good, and above average, and then it goes down from there. So my man graded out as a good defensive tackle. 42 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Dontarie Poe graded out at 69.1, above average tackle, 17 tackles, 1 sack. And then we had our backup Kyle Love. He had graded out at 77.3, above average, 19 tackles, 1.5 sack, and 3 forced fumbles. And then we had Wes Horton with 1.5 sack. So what really stuck out to me is this. Check this out. Carolina Panthers finished 27th in the NFL in sacks total. Okay, 35 total sacks all season. They had 35 total sacks all season. 17% of their sacks was in game 1 against the Cowboys. Let me bring that back. Did you hear that? 35 total sacks all season, and 17% of it came in the first game. There was 6 in week 1. That can't happen. All right, let's do the math. Okay, so we got 5 right here by Peppers. We got Addison. Let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see, 3 by Short, 17, 18, 19 and a half. So 21 sacks came from our defensive line out of 35. Okay, which isn't too bad, but we need to have more. I'm gonna keep going. All right. Our secondary ranked 29th as a group, according to ProFootballFocus.com. Mike Adams gave up 5 touchdowns. He gave up 5 touchdowns, and he gave up a passer rating of 121.6 when they targeted him. 121.6 every time he was targeted. That was the average grade for him. No surprise to me why he's gone. No disrespect, but my man got torched a lot. Eric Reed graded out the he graded out the highest secondary in ProFootballFocus.com, 66.5, above average, 71 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. I see why they gave him his money. James Bradbury graded out second at 66.4. Pro Football Focus considered him above average cornerback, 70 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. And of course, you know my man, sorry Miss Jackson, Dante Jackson had 65. Pro Football Focus considered him above average cornerback, 74 tackles, 1 sack, 4 interception. And I'm going to talk about Thieves Avenue. Thieves Avenue turned into, no offense, I got Shook Avenue because they put their hands up. They didn't want no more the second half of the season. And I'm not being funny. According to these stats right here, Carolina Panthers ranked 15th in interceptions. Halfway through the year, Carolina Panthers had 11 total interceptions, which is beast, okay? 8 games, 11 interceptions. We're above the curve. But check this out. After the halfway point, the Carolina Panthers only had 2 interceptions. Yes, 2 interceptions after the 8 games, okay? I see why, if you don't get pressure on a quarterback, if you don't turn teams over, then guess what happened? You lose. And the easy thing to do is say, yeah, we can scapegoat Cam Newton. And I'm not picking on nobody. I'm being honest. We can scapegoat him and say his shoulder was hurt, yada, yada, yada. And it was hurt. But you still have a job to do in turning the guys over, getting interception, getting sacks. Something we got to do. 27th for sacks, 15th for interception. It's just not good enough to be considered elite, all right? Let's move on to our linebacking core. Can I get a Luke? That's right, let's get a Luke. Luke graded out, of course, the highest player on defense, 90.7, according to ProFootballFocus.com. 130 tackles. He was a tackle-nator. 2 sacks, 1 interceptions. Thomas Davis graded out at 74.2, above average. And he had, 79 tackles. Then we had Shaq Thompson, his replacement, 68.6, above average. 80 tackles, 3.5 sacks. So a lot of people are already wondering, you know what I mean? And they don't give my man Shaq a full scope. You know what I mean? They don't give him a full deal. They like to kind of dump on him. But I'm a fan of Shaq. I think it's Shaq's time. Let's see what he can do. In a small sample size, he even had more tackles than Thomas Davis. Had 3.5 sacks, and I'm not comparing to him because there's no comparison. Thomas Davis is a gridiron man. My man played with his arm stitched up. My man's the only player in the NFL to ever come back from 3 ACL injuries. So there's no comparing him as far as his will, his fortitude, toughness. But my man can play. Let's not sleep on Shaq. Let's give him respect, all right? So now I want to move on to scoring defense. Carolina Panthers were 18th in scoring defense. They gave up 23.9 points a game. On top of that, they were 23rd in the touchdowns allowed. The Carolina Panthers allowed the 11th most touchdowns of any team. in the league. They gave up 46 touchdowns. You can't win when you're giving up points, man. Especially touchdowns. If you're gonna give up field goals, you like bend whether you break. But in here, they were bending. They were allowing people down there, and then they also were breaking because they're giving up touchdowns. We can't have that if we're going to be elite. Let's see. They were 15th in total defense last year in 2017. They were 7th. So they went from 7th to 15th in total defense in 2017. 2018, they were 18th in passing defense. They gave up 240 yards per game. Now, the main thing about this right here is, yeah, you're going to give up because we play in the division where we have Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and even Crableg Joe, from Tampa Bay. He put up big yards. But the thing about this 240 yards per game, a lot of them yards were given up at the wrong time. A lot of these yards were given up wrong. If you don't believe me, look at the Seattle Seahawks tape. It was disheartening to watch our boys go down there, play such a tough game, and then give up a big play to allow those guys to finally seal the deal. 2019, we can't have that. But even though we did give up 18th passing defense, 240 yards per game, the real thing about that was we gave up at the wrong time. Last but not least, I want to talk about our run defense. We were 12th in run defense. That has been a staple of the Carolina Panthers defense for the last few years, if I'm not mistaken. Our run defense is something we can hold our hat on. Matter of fact, 2017, we were 3rd in run defense. Okay, now we did get together because we did only allow 112 yards per game on the ground, midway through the season. Or, we got it together. But the first 3 games, what was it? Zeke. Then we had my man Tevin Coleman. Then we had the dude from Cincinnati Bengals. So it wasn't pretty, man. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't normal because, like I said, if anything that we can guarantee when you play the Carolina Panthers is you're not going to run on us. But we kind of lost our ways. But midway through the season, we got together, and we actually finished 12th, which is not bad. So to sum everything all up, I know I don't want to seem like I'm reading a bunch of numbers to you. Based off what I see here, this thing can be fixed. And going into 2019, will it be fixed? I don't know. I know we have the ability to fix it. Like I said before, we have the ability to fix things. But if you don't act upon it, if we don't learn from our ways, we won't, we'll never make the right corrections. I'll tell you this, Thomas Davis and, Julius Peppers, those guys will be missed. Check this out. My man Pep, 39 years old, 5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. So what you're asking me is more than likely we're going to have to bring in a rookie to even match that kind of production. Do you think we can bring in a rookie year 1? He can come out here with at least 20 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles? I don't know. Hopefully we can. But he got some big shoes to fill. And even a year before, my man had double-digit sacks. So that's a big hole to fill. Thomas Davis, 79 tackles. I do believe Shaq Thompson will go ahead and hold it down. Like that position right there, that linebacker position, no doubt he's going to hold it down. One question, though, and it's a fair question. Like I said, feel free to call in if you want to talk about this topic. I don't think we're going to necessarily struggle, but I do understand that when you put new people in new positions, there's a learning curve. And with that learning curve comes, like I said, birthing pain or learning pain. You're going to give us some yards. You're going to give us some big plays. I kind of feel bad, and I know this doesn't sound right, but I'm going to feel bad for Luke Kuechly. Because Luke Kuechly is a stud in his own. He can hold his own. But what I feel bad for him about is I think now he's going to have to do more. And it's kind of like the opposite of what we're doing to Christian McCaffrey on offense. How we just kind of just use him. Now they're talking about they want to get some relief for him, which is fine. But I feel bad for Luke Kuechly because I feel like now Thomas Davis is like your peanut butter. If he's the jelly, that's your peanut butter. Now you got to bring in raspberry grape, or you got to bring in marshmallow and peanut butter. If you haven't had a marshmallow peanut butter sandwich, then you're missing out. But my point I'm trying to make is you got to get used to it. Okay, you got to get used to playing with the Shaq Thompson for a full scope, the Jermaine Carter, you know what I mean, and whoever else we have back there. All right, you got to get used to it. So with them getting used to it, I think Luke Kuechly is not only he's gonna have to overextend himself to get people in the right position. Make sure we're lined up right. Make sure they're making the right read. Then you got to go out there and you got to be Mr. Awesome by yourself, which we know he can do. But will it be too much on Luke? Will it be too much? If anybody can handle the stress of leading and directing and putting people in this position, I would say it will be Luke. But we also know my man is human too. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. So to answer the question, will we struggle next year on defense? There's a potential that we could. A lot of the stats I just read, like 27 sacks, 15th in interceptions, 15th in total defense. 15th in total defense is not that bad. We're actually a little bit at the midway point, all right? So there's things that can be corrected. 18th in passing defense, we're below the halfway point. We got to come up. My biggest issue, like I just said, can we replace Peppers? We're going to need that production up front. Bottom line, we're going to need the production up front. I don't think we will struggle, but it wouldn't surprise me if we did. And if we did struggle, I don't think it'll be a whole season. I think it'll be like the first part, you know what I mean? Getting people acclimated. Like I said, Luke Kuechly putting people in the right spot. Defense end, seeing if he's going to pan out, get that pressure. Rashad Golden. What can I say, man? I don't want to disrespect the man. Like I said, I believe in a 2-year process. A man has to have 2 years of service on the field, and if he doesn't pan out, then. But Rashad Golden has a hill to climb. He has a hill to climb, given the fact that Dante Jackson went out there his rookie year. He set the ball high. So pretty much this is like his rookie year. This is Rashad Golden's rookie year, and no disrespect to him. When he was on the field last year for the brief time, I wasn't really impressed. At times he looked kind of like a days ago, the Pittsburgh game, a few other games as well. But my man got some steep hill to climb. I would like to get Juan Thornhill in the draft. If not, let's get a quality free agent that we can get for a discounted price. Just as insurance. I'm not going to say my man's not going to pan out. But, yeah, I think we'll be all right on defense, man. We'll be all right on defense. So I want to move on to my next topic. This is a good topic. I know a couple of you guys tuned in for this. Do the New Orleans Saints run the Carolina Panthers? Who that suck? That's right, the New Orleans Saints suck. All right, we're going to talk about this real quick. And I went all the way back to 2016. I went back to October 2016 all the way until this past year, which was a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a total of 7 games. So over the last 7 straight games, the Carolina Panthers had played with the Saints. Carolina Panthers are 2-5. But here's the interesting thing. It's not necessarily about wins or losses. It's about how you play, the quality wins, the quality losses, okay? And yes, there is a such thing as quality losses. New Orleans Saints do not run the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to be frank with you. The Carolina Panthers run the Carolina Panthers. I went back and I did my research. I got the numbers here for you, but I put on 2 games. I put on the November 17, 2016 game, and I also put on the playoff game. The one we lost, the third game we lost in the playoff, January 7, 2018. I put on both of those games. So the first game I watched was a Thursday night game back in 2016. And we won that game 20-23. There's a couple things that stood out to me about the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. Drew Brees works off of timing. Drew Brees, if you really want to know why Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints are so effective, there's 2 reasons. Timing and execution. Let me repeat that. Timing and execution. Sean Payton draws up these plays, and you can tell, I'm not saying Drew Brees is no dummy, but the way they line those plays up and the way he execute them is fabulous, man. Drew Brees were literally, during this game right here on this 2016 game, they were isolating cornerbacks and linebackers, and they were doing underneath routes. They were doing like crossing routes, and they were doing out routes, okay? So what they'll do is they'll take wide receivers and stuff, and they'll have like a running back out here in the flat, and what they'll do, they'll stretch out everybody out, and then they'll run off. They'll run off your guys, okay? They'll find out, okay, let me see. If I want to isolate the outside linebacker, let's say Thomas Davis, I want to isolate him, so we're going to line a bunch of receivers up over there. We're going to have one runner, a go route. We're going to have a couple runner post, a couple runner slant, and then we're going to have one on an isolate on the out route. So now your man either have to be fast enough to jump it, or he's going to have to be right there as soon as that ball gets there. All right? And vice versa. What they will do is they'll have a couple guys. They'll run them up the field, run your guys off, have a linebacker or a cornerback or nickelback sitting right there, run them underneath, and that's what they were doing the whole game. And then they were mixing it in with run. This is when they had Tim Hightower and Mark Ingram. So very good execution, Very good timing they did against us. I tell you what, the Carolina Panthers, this game right here, if you want to know how to beat the New Orleans Saints, pop on this game right here. It's on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. November 17, 2016. They punched them in the mouth. And for you guys who didn't know, the score was 20-3 at halftime, the Carolina Panthers. I never seen Thomas Davis hop off a tape like he did on here. Thomas Davis hopped off this tape. Go watch it. Please go watch it. My man hopped off this tape, straight punched him in the mouth. Not just him, the defensive line punching him in the mouth. They had 2 turnovers. Oh, let me be sure. Let me see. They had 2 turnovers, man. 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers. They hit him in the mouth. They sacking him. Hands all in my man's face. Oh, he couldn't see. He couldn't see. You know what I mean? So this is how you beat him. There's no magic. No, Mike Thomas is not unstoppable. Ted Ginn was on our team at this time, all right? But, yeah, they really showed off. Another thing is they blitz Cam. The way they stopped Cam Newton, and this is how they attacked pretty much the last 7 games. They blitz Cam. They hit Cam. They pressure Cam. This is the game plan. This not only is it for the Saints, it's becoming universal now. If you want to get Cam Newton down on the ground, or if you want to make Cam Newton look silly, if you want to make the offense struggle, blitz them, hit them, and pressure them. And during this game, you've seen a lot of that. But it's just the fact that we made more big plays, and we were able to take advantage of those big plays, all right? Next thing I know, they swarmed Drew Brees. Our defense, I'm telling you, man, this is the perfect tape. Our defense swarmed Drew Brees. They batted his ball. They sacked him. They got pressure. It was just a pop of energy. I know Thursday nights and Monday night games are special because you're the only game on TV, but please just pop on the tape on YouTube. The energy level was so high, it wasn't even funny, man. 20-3 halftime, the Saints were dejected, all that good stuff. So I don't think we necessarily, they own us. It's the things that we do. We don't execute it sometimes. Sometimes we don't execute. Sometimes we look sloppy. Sometimes we're out of place. And it showed. We were 2-5 over the last 7 games. And let me give you another example, okay? So we went from October 2016, we went 38-41. That game right here. Now I got a rule. If you want to know who's going to win the game, there's a couple things you got to look at. Close your eyes and just read the stat. Have somebody read the stat line to you. If a team loses on 3rd down, if their 3rd down ratio is lower than the other team, if their penalty ratio is higher than the other team, if their turnover ratio is higher than the other team, if their total yards for the game is lower than the other team, I guarantee you, just close your eyes and just have someone read those stats to you. I can tell you who win. Okay? So dating back to 2016, the first game they played where they had 38-41, which is a high-scoring game, Carolina was 3 of 11 on 3rd down. 3rd down is important, and I stress this a lot. 3rd down is so important in the NFL because it keeps the chains moving. They were on 3rd down 14 times in this game. They only converted 3. New Orleans was 8 of 16. 50%, okay? Penalty yards. They were 10 for 126 yards, almost a whole field. But we only had 5 for 51, which was good. But check this out. Even though we had less penalty yards and less penalties, we had more turnovers. You cannot win a game with more turnovers than the other team, all right? So we went 3 of 11 on 3rd down. We had 2 turnovers. And then on top of that, we had 406 total yards, which is beast, but we had less total yards than them. So they won total yards, check. They won turnover battle, check. And they won the 3rd down battle, check. Nothing else needs to be said. We lost 38-41. The second go-around we played in November 17th, the game I was just talking about. Check this out right here. We went 7 of 17 on 3rd down, check. We went 6 penalties for 6 penalties, okay, neutral. Guess who won this game? 2 turnovers. New Orleans Saints committed 2 turnovers. What did I just say? I just said we have to win 3rd down, we have to win penalties, we have to win turnover. We broke even on penalties. We broke even on penalties. We won the 3rd down battle. We won the turnover battle. Guess who won this game? Oh, we also won the total yard battle. We had What's this? 371 yards. Guess who won that game? Carolina Panthers won 23 to 20. All right, so it's simple mathematics with this thing right here. Let's go back to, let's see, what's this? Hold on, lost my spot, y'all. Let's go to September 24th. This is the only game the Carolina Panthers lost by more than 10 points. We lost 34 to 13. Like I said, New Orleans went 6 of 12 on third down. Carolina Panthers went 7 of 14. They had one penalty. We had one penalty. We had 3 turnovers. You can't turn the ball over. Total yards, they had 362 yards. We had 282 yards. All right, so like I said, if we don't win third down, if we won't win the penalty battle, if we don't win the turnover battle is a big one. If we don't win that, we lose. And like I said before, September 24th, 17 was the only game in the last 7 games that we have not lost by or won by more than 10 points, okay? Let's read the score to you. Dating back to October 16th, 38 to 41, New Orleans. November 17th, 2016, 20 to 23, Panthers. September 24th, 17, 34-13, Saints. 12-17, Saints, 21 to 31. Playoff game, 26 to 31, Saints. Okay, so all these games are close. And to me, for you to own a team, you got to decimate that team. This is not the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. Tom Brady is no doubt. Tom Brady is the Buffalo Bills' daddy. Go look at the scoreboard. He owns them guys. Every time they play, I think this last year was a close game. I think that was the last. But prior to that, it's always a blowout or some kind of big lead. Same way with the Jets. Tom Brady took a DNA test. He's the Jets' daddy too, okay? But right here, every game has been less than 10 points. Less than 10 points. And I want to talk about the other film I watched. I watched the playoff game. That was the time they swept us in the locker room, the third game. You know what I mean? 26 to 31. That game was so heartbreaking. I watched that game on TV and I watched it again yesterday. And all the things that I just bragged about in the first game I watched, as far as us getting pressure, how the energy was high, how we made the plays, how we punched Drew Brees in the mouth, it wasn't there. That playoff game hurt so much because it wasn't the fact that we wasn't giving effort, we weren't hitting home. And if you don't believe me, like I said, everything's on YouTube. Just type it in over there. This game right here was so many missed opportunities. We had Clay Aikens. Clay Aikens dropped that pass. We had the pass at the end of the game with Devin Funchess. The ball literally went through his hand. We had at least 4 or 5 sacks that went undone because we couldn't get there. We could not get there. You know what I mean? And let me read you some stats about this game. If you don't believe me, we dominated the New Orleans Saints in that playoff game. The numbers don't lie. I'm looking at the numbers. Every number, here's this kind of shocking thing. Because remember I told you we got to win third down. We got to win penalties. We got to win, turnovers. We got to win total yards. We did all that. We did all that, man. But we just got outfoxed. You know why? Because we couldn't take advantage of our own self. We couldn't get out our own way. We had secondary lining up in the wrong spot. We had people coming down, leaving holes. When you play in a zone defense, you got to remain in your zone window. But what happened was Drew Brees was getting outside the pocket, and you're buying time. Because we were getting pressure because we were flushing him out the pocket. We just weren't getting there. And what's pressure without getting there? You see what I'm saying? If my man is still, you're playing against Drew Brees. You know, I hate to be up, but you know, I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. Let me read some stats to you. Let me find my plays. Hold on. All right, so right here, this is the game I was talking about where the Carolina Panthers we literally dominated them in that playoff game. The New Orleans Saints went 2 of 8 on third down. 2 of 8. Now they did win the penalty battles. They had we had 7 penalties for 96 yards. They had 1 turnover. We had 413 yards. They had 7.3 yards per play. And we went 8 of 17 on third down. Everything in the number says we should have won. Everything in the number said we should have won, man. So it was so sad to see that we struggled to even get there. And the reason why we struggled was because we couldn't get out our own way. We couldn't make our plays. We couldn't do what we were supposed to do. We weren't lining up right. We weren't getting there. And then on offense, like I said, Cam Newton was getting banged around, but my man is a warrior. If you don't love Cam Newton, then I don't think you love football because, yeah, he's not necessarily a pocket passer or whatever, but my man has a heart. My man has a fortitude. Like he can hang in there. He can make those plays when you give him time. And when you give him time, you got to make those plays. Like I said, I hate to name drop, but I'm going to name drop because I want to name drop. We got Clay Aikens and Devin Funchess and certain other people who, didn't make plays in that game. All right, but the answer to the question, no. The New Orleans Saints do not own the Carolina Panthers. The games have always been close. In the games that we have lost, yes, the record does say we are 2-5 in the last 7 games. So what? All those games have been tough. All those games came down to a critical mistake or not making a play here or there. If you want to say something, the definition of owning a team is look at Tom Brady and the Jets, look at Tom Brady and the Buffalo Bills. Every time those guys play, it's a disaster, all right? So get in the comment section, man. I want to hear what you guys think about it, all right? I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on BeanPod. Get in the comment section. If you want to talk about a certain topic, just let me know. I'll be glad to talk about it. But yeah, so what did we learn today? We learned that Tom Brady is the Jets' daddy. We learned the Saints do not run the Carolina Panthers. It's always a close game. Like I said, it's a misstep either here or either there on our behalf or on their behalf. We also learned that our defense, is there potential for us to struggle next year? Could be. I don't think so. And we learned that it's the greatest channel in the world, right? Y'all tune in next time, man. Keep pounding _TV. I love you guys, man. Like I said, man, share that love. Keep pounding as always. I'm out, y'all.